चाहते हैं ममता बनर्जी घर का लड़की है, घर में ही रहे और हम लोग का पूजा का पहले दुर्गा पूजा आ रहा है, पहले हम लोग का जो माँ दुर्गा है दुर्गा पूजा होगा।
कहाँ 400 कहाँ मिल ही नहीं रहा है, 1 2 3 में भी नहीं काउंट होता है। बीजेपी को मुंह ही नहीं है, वो लोग बात क्या करेगा, वो लोग कंपटीशन क्या करेगा, वो ऑलरेडी हार चुका है, उसका जगह से हार चुका है ऑलरेडी बीजेपी।
Bloodbath is there in their blood. That is their slogan, Khuni Khela, which I have promised to the people of Bengal that I will not allow this Khuni Khela to continue in West Bengal.
Hello everyone, you're watching News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. September 30th is D-Day for Mamata Banerjee as her home turf of Bhabanipur will go to the polls. The West Bengal Chief Minister aims to secure her position at the helm of the state after losing to Shubhendu Adhikari in Nandigram during the state elections. But the TMC camp is confident. Bhabanipur sent Mamata Banerjee to the State Assembly in 2011 after she overthrew the left and elected her again in 2016. Has only consolidated her position as the tallest leader of the state. After Mamata Banerjee's stellar sweep this year, increasing her tally of seats and a vote share of 48%, the prestige fight in Nandigram is where she lost out by a margin of just over 1,900 votes. Now the law dictates that Mamata has 6 months to become an MLA, and veteran TMC leader Shobandep Chattopadhyay stepped down as the MLA of Bhabanipur to open the door for the Chief Minister. But the other parties are not holding back, namely the BJP, which has fielded Priyanka Tebriwal as Mamata's challenger. Tibrewal led the legal offensive in the post-poll violence case and dealt a blow to the TMC government after the High Court ordered a CBI probe and the formation of an SIT to investigate all the cases. The BJP has also unleashed top leaders of the Bengal unit to ensure Tibrewal can give a tough fight to Mamata, hoping to gain the support of the significant non-Bengali communities in the seat where the BJP holds sway in many wards. But this is Mamata Banerjee who ensured that the saffron juggernaut is halted, and this is her home turf. In the state elections, the average winning margin of all the candidates stood at a record 26,964 votes, while the same for Trinamool Congress was 31,760 votes. This is the highest ever average winning margin clocked by any party in assembly elections in India. That is the clout of the Chief Minister, and that is what she brings to this fight. So is it a no contest in Bhabanipur? The woman who does not agree with this is Priyanka Tibrewal, and she joins me live on the show. Priyanka, thank you so much for your time. By fielding you from a constituency which is a TMC bastion and Mamata Banerjee's home turf against a popular Chief Minister who has just few months ago returned with an emphatic mandate, has the BJP only made you a sacrificial lamb?
Why do you think so? Why do you think so? And, all praises for Mamata Banerjee I'm hearing and listening, but let me remind you, she is the same Mamata Banerjee who lost the elections from Nandigram. So, if I am a lost candidate, she is also a lost candidate. And as far as Bhabanipur is concerned, I am born in Bhabanipur and brought up in Bhabanipur. So, it's my hometown as well.
And what do you think worked for you, for the BJP to choose you? Is it that you have fought against the state government and stood with the victims of post-poll violence?
See, of course, I think what the party has appreciated is my concern for the people of Bengal and the way I stood beside them, behind them and along with them in fighting this battle of injustice versus justice. So, for justice, I made sure that people went to the court so that the FIRs could be registered. I stood with the women who were raped mercilessly by the TMC leaders and their goons, and a complete silence from the then Chief Minister, ex-Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee.
Priyanka, since you are taking on a chief minister in her constituency, how do you view your own battle? The entire campaigning of Mamata Banerjee and the TMC was mounted on Bengal wanting its own daughter, Bengal Nije Meke Chai, versus outsiders in Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah. What about this battle for Bhabanipur?
See, Bengal Niger Meke Chai or Bhabanipur Niger Meke Chai, if that be so, then I am Bhabanipur's May. So Bhabanipur wants me then. See, leaving all this aside, what I think should be the issue in this election, what should be the main concern of the people is that democracy should exist, that rule of law should prevail, that this misrule of the TMC government should end, and they need to give a befitting reply once again to my opposition, to the candidate who is there in my opposition, because she's already got that reply once from the people of Bengal.
What makes you think that you have a chance? What is giving you and your party that confidence?
See, whatever or whomsoever TMC wants to use in this election, because I understand their concern. It is like really unacceptable and very difficult to digest the fact that they come to a majority and form a government and the chief minister loses the election, the chief minister face loses the election. So, of course, they will leave no stone unturned this time. But I am once again sticking to my view, to what I feel and my concern of fighting for the people of Bengal. And I have already proved the same, because when the CM was quiet over issues, when this vandalism was prevailing, and this was no one else who was doing this vandalism, this was done by the TMC party, their goons, and on the direction of the leaders, where the chief minister was the chief minister of the entire West Bengal, but she kept mum on the issue. Rather, she continued saying that there is no violence in Bengal, and she lost that battle to me in the High Court. So I think this will be the second defeat for them.
Last
One has already been done at the High Court.
Last question to you. The kind of deployment that the BJP has done for you. 3 MPs, 8 MLAs, there is a long list of star campaigners which includes union ministers. All of them will be campaigning for you. There will be micromanagement of each ward. One would say that they are going all guns blazing for ensuring that you register your presence and make it uncomfortable for Mamata Banerjee. But will it not, all of it not go waste?
See, I'm very fortunate because in such a short span of my political career, if I get an opportunity like this, where my entire party is standing with me, where the leaders of my party will be campaigning for me, so this is a wonderful opportunity which I have.
All right, Priyanka, thank you so much for joining us. Let me bring in my guests now. Saurav Sikdar is the spokesperson of the West Bengal BJP. Saket Gokhale is the TMC spokesperson. Radhika Ramaseshan is consulting editor, Business Standard. We also have Rashid Kidwai, author and senior journalist. Saurav, 3 MPs, 8 MLAs for managing one constituency. What will you achieve by this kind of deployment? The TMC is looking at not victory or defeat, but the victory margin.
No, I'm not agree with that. Definitely, we are also fighting for win. And Mamata Banerjee once defeated, and this was her home constituency before he fought Nandigram battle, and she has to escape from here. We should not forget that. So, in last election also, we got a tremendous response of the voters and people of Bhabanipur. So this time we are not going to spare a single inch of Mamata Banerjee. We are not fighting this election for only for our existence. We are fighting this for we.
And bringing you, Radhika, Mamata Banerjee's victory was a comprehensive one, both in terms of quality and quantity. It was clearly a winner takes it all kind of a victory for Mamata Banerjee. What does this battle for Bhabanipur mean then?
Yeah, Maria, to me, it looks like a symbolic contest. What I would watch out for is if she is able to best her previous margin from Bhabanipur, or it declines. Having said that, I must say that, it is brave of the BJP to make a full-throated contest of a by-election. That's the way political parties should function. Doesn't matter, if it is symbolic or it is substantive, you just make a go of it, pitch all your resources, pitch all your star campaigners and fight it like an election. I mean, the Congress has withdrawn.
Yes.
The Congress hasn't even made up its mind whether it wants Mamata Banerjee as an ally, whether it is prepared to accept her leadership in the event of non-BJP, non-Congress front emerging before the 2024 elections. But the BJP, on the other hand, is making a go of it. So that is interesting. But, the backdrop and context of the assembly elections were entirely different. That has ceased to matter. Mamata delivered a resounding victory against expectations of some people, some sections. She is there. Her government has just been installed. I mean, she's there in her third term. And, it's too early for anti-incumbency to set in, no matter what the BJP says. It is making an issue of law and order. Okay, they have an issue. They will make an issue of it. But I do not think it is going to have any larger resonance with the people of Bhabanipur.
Okay.
Or the voters in the other two constituencies, which are going to buy.
Even if it is a symbolic fight, here is the BJP saying that we have to ensure that all our best efforts are made in ensuring that this is a fight worth fighting for. Saket Gokhale, whoever had contested against the Chief Minister, you would have said that it is, that it is a cakewalk for Mamata Banerjee. Yes, if we look at how the cards are stacked up, it is very clear that Mamata Banerjee has a clear advantage. But here is someone that the BJP has fielded who has dragged your government to the court and then managed a verdict which has led to the CBI investigation.
About the way the National Human Rights Commission came in and the fact-finding committee, a lot has been said about the fact that, former BJP contestants and a member of the minority cell was a part of this fact-finding committee. So I would not get into the NHRC and the fact-finding committee and all of that. Let the inquiry happen and we will see. As far as the Bhabanipur election goes, the by-election goes, I just heard someone say that that's how the BJP fights. They put all their resources. It must be mentioned at this point that the BJP has far more resources in terms of electoral bonds, in terms of funding, than many other political parties put together. So sure, I mean, they have money that they can put down and, they can flow it like a river. They tried to do that at the assembly elections. They got a very resounding defeat from the people of West Bengal. So of course, I mean, they had to put up a placeholder candidate, so they're putting one up. If you look at the star campaigner list, it's very interesting that there are two people who had Bengal as the biggest priority, both Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah. They're both very conveniently absent. I mean, they're not even bothering to, come down and campaign for their candidate. And I think that pretty much tells you, the public sentiment and what the result is going to be.
Okay. Rashid, what about the Congress? Left and the Congress combined were decimated to a mere 4% in the assembly elections. And now the Congress has even withdrawn from this kind of fight. They have said that Maidan chhod karke bhag gaye.
Maria, politics is art of the possible. There is a, loosely worked out some kind of alliance that's working out for a united front against Narendra Modi for 2024. So it is very important that not to needle Mamata beyond a point. So Mamata has been given some kind of, importance. The Congress has withdrawn, as Saket was saying, not just because of, lack of resources or suitable candidate, but also they want to please Mamata Banerjee. Because tomorrow, whatever alternative arrangement, if at all, a kind of situation arises, Mamata will play a very big role. And Congress, in all likelihood, will play a second fiddle to it. So therefore, I think it is strategic. Because in by-election, except for two instances, one Shibu Soren lost and other time, 1970, Tribhuvan Singh had lost in Uttar Pradesh. So normally, chief ministers don't lose by-elections. So, the die is cast. The BJP is very high on rhetoric and that's their style. But how much will they gain from it? We do not know. There is no silver medal in politics. And that is the underlying principle.
Yes, and that is the reason why when we look at the victory margin, Saurav Sikdar, in 43 seats, the victory margin for the TMC has been more than 50,000. That is the kind of victory that Mamata Banerjee ensured for her candidates in the recent elections. So as far as Bhabanipur is concerned, you may be putting in all your efforts, but this is appearing to be a no contest.
Well, there are many seats where we also lost in a very narrow margin. And see, margin will not say the final word. this is a fresh battle, and we are going to fight it as a fresh one. See, when Mamata Banerjee fought in Nandigram, so everybody claimed that he's going to be in a huge margin, and ultimately she lost the election to Subhendu Adhikari. Now, this Bhabanipur seat also in last Lok Sabha election, Mamata Banerjee's ward where she is the voter, there TMC was a little behind of BJP. So that was the reason she was not confident about the Bhabanipur, and she went for a safe seat to Nandi. So now that people of Bhabanipur is a very traditional area of Calcutta, very old, I mean, it's a very old colony and very culturally rich
Okay,
people.
Saket Gokhale, would you accept that that move of Mamata Banerjee of fighting from Nandigram certainly backfired because she lost, and hence she is returning to the turf that she was most comfortable with?
Not at all. Because look, at the end of the day, under her leadership, we won 213 seats. The BJP's tally, by the way, is reducing with every passing as their MLAs defect from their own party. The second thing is, Mamata Banerjee at least has the guts to contest an election. Unlike a Yogi Adityanath, who is a member of the upper house, he's never contested an election. So how many BJP chief ministers have actually gone out and even had the courage to go out and contest an election and stand in front of the people? You know, you have Mr. Nitish Kumar in the BJP government who's a member of the upper house. You have Yogi Adityanath who's a member of the upper house. Why aren't if these guys are so popular, why don't they contest an election? And 2014, Mr. Modi also contested from 2 seats. So what was he not confident of Varanasi, or was he not confident about Vadodara? So this is a very silly bogey that they're putting up. They know they're going to lose the seat. They're trying to make some hue and cry. But the fact of the matter is that the BJP has been humiliated by the people of Bengal. The anti-people policies have been rejected. And they were very royally on the 2nd of May thrown out of the state. So this saving failed justice is not going to get there anywhere.
Okay, Saurav, the point being made by, Saket Gokhale there as to why in that list of star campaigners, your biggest faces are missing. From Prime Minister to Home Minister to BJP President, they are not campaigning. Are they not campaigning?
Well, this is not a general election. This is a by-election, and for by-election, our other senior leaders are coming.
Prime Minister,
why you are interrupting me? Why you are
Prime
interrupting
Minister
me? Did I interrupt you? Mr. Gokhale, did I interrupt you when you say?
Prime Minister
Gokhale, did I interrupt you when you said?
Prime Minister Modi
campaign in Hyderabad.
Prime Minister Modi. Maria, I mean,
you have a question, sir.
No. The question is, one moment, Saurav Sikdar. One moment, Saurav Sikdar, for Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation elections, you had the top leaders campaign. You had Home Minister hold rallies. You had BJP President hold rallies and road shows.
Our all senior leaders are coming. What's wrong with for every election? Prime Minister and Home Minister could not attend every election. Our all senior leader and all team Bengal is there for campaigning.
Okay, I'll give the final words to the two analysts on the show, please. The final words to the women on the panel, but before that, Rashid, 30 seconds to you.
What does the Prime Minister do? Other than campaigning, what does the Prime Minister do anyway?
Okay, Rashid, 30 seconds to you.
No, so what is your Chief Minister doing except...
Rashid.
I think it is too far-fetched to expect the Prime Minister to campaign for it, and for the better, the Home Minister. But knowing what Prime Minister Modi, how he functions, he will definitely make some kind of point, some kind of gesture that would probably, strengthen the BJP candidate. The choice of BJP candidate is very, very, I think, obvious. It is to highlight, whatever the BJP thinks is going wrong in Bengal or with Mamata Banerjee. So that limited point the BJP is making, and I think they're making it quite forcefully.
Yes. Radhika, the fact that they have chosen a woman, the entire campaign of Mamata Banerjee was also about Bengal's daughter, Bengal's own daughter. Here is Priyanka Tibrewal, who is a local of Bhabanipur. So she can counter Bengal's daughter by saying, I'm also a local here.
Yeah, she's already
vocal.
started doing it. You know,
Yes,
when you
she
spoke
said
to
that.
her,
Yes.
She said, I was born and raised in Bhabanipur. So, you know, the outsider tag will just not stick to her, though she is not really Bengali speaking. However, I mean, having said that, there is no Suvendu Adhikari with his I take no prisoner attitude over here. Of course, I grant Ms. Tibrewal has led a campaign against Mamata Banerjee on account of the Bengal violence. She will bring a degree of aggression into her campaign. You know, the BJP has pressed local MPs, but at the end of it, I continue to maintain that this is a symbolic contest with advantage Mamata. Of course, Mamata, no matter what Saket Gokhale argues, Mamata is back in her comfort zone. I mean, this is her comfort zone. So, you know, unless I go drastically wrong or unless things go drastically wrong, I think she should make it from Bhabanipur.
Okay, so the results will be, of course, known on 3rd of October. Thank you so much for joining us, Saurav Sikdar, Saket Gokhale, Radhika and Rashid. We'll know about it on 3rd of October. The results are on that day. And, of course, the polling is on 30th of September. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.